Welcome on back to our Rim Wars The Old Republic Let's Play. Between episodes, I've finished quite a bit of construction projects. We've actually knocked out the, what do you call it? What was this thing called? Monument, right. We knocked that out completely. We had enough, well, we didn't initially, but we had sufficient limestone to build the floors after a little bit of crafting's done. And it looks like we've been kind of all in on limestone. I need to actually get them to start working on the Aurelian stone again because we're really low on that. The rest is steel because steel is just what I had in the most abundance. So that is done. The quest is complete. We gained, I think, actually slightly more than 33 relation with the, I think that was the Republic faction. And so all in all, that helped us quite a bit. Now, speaking of gaining relation with other factions, Jaina has just released the two. We didn't intend to take them as prisoners, and in fact, that whole thing was a giant debacle. But we tried to rescue two people at the trade fair. The factions got really upset, and so unfortunately, the amount of good this is going to do is, you know, still very much in the red. But now that we're finally releasing Speedy and LC, we should gain a little bit of relation back with those factions. Granted, it's not probably going to be enough to end the hostility, but at least it'll be a little bit in the right direction. What else is going on? So I've done some renaming. At the end of last episode, we gave Ryder his nickname, so his full name being Obreder Eselo, but we're just going to be calling him Ryder for short. I've also combed through the comments for some name submissions. So the first one is going to be Grace is now Keisha Haran. Hersum is her original last name. It was Grace Hersum, but she's got a new first name, and we're just going to be calling her K for short. And then who else? Hailsham is just going to be Hale for short. And Carlos has a new full name that was another one pulled from the comments, and that's going to be Ohavi Gatir. We're just going to be calling him Ohavi, excuse me. And again, if you have any name submissions, feel free to let me know in the comments below. I would ask that you don't be too specific on your character requirements because, again, I can't really control who I'm recruiting at this point. Or, sorry, so like what sort of backgrounds I'm recruiting from. So it's a lot easier if you just kind of give me a vague idea to work with. Anyway, we've got those updates. Hale also cut her hair. We got rid of those ridiculous braids. And multi-analyzer's done. That's kind of a big thing. So I went ahead and crafted it. It did cost us, obviously, quite a bit in terms of valuable components. So 50 plasteel, 20 gold, 8 regular components isn't such a big deal. But the gold and the plasteel was a bit costly because we only had about 100 gold and only about 225 plasteel, so that did use a significant chunk, but I think it will pay dividends down the line. We've queued up fabrication, and it looks like we're already about 20% into that one, so that's great. And then we're actually going to backtrack a little bit after fabrication. We're going to go to plate armor, then to flak armor. Now, we don't actually need flak armor in order to proceed to recon armor, which is interesting. So those are completely independent. Where the hell is this, by the way? Here we go. Right, so if we want recon armor, all we need is complex clothing and fabrication. However, there's some stuff in flak armor that I'd like to be able to produce. So even though it's not necessary for the stuff way downstream that I want to craft, namely the clone armor, it's still worth doing just for the things that are in there. For example, this sadist armor is actually what Wade is wearing. So if I want to make him a replacement, I need to be able to craft that. Anywho, let's see. So Ryder is now outfitted more like a Jedi, and speaking of which, he was finally converted. So the second attempt Wade made was more than enough to get him over that 5%. So he's starting in the Jedi ideology at 50% as is standard, and we changed his equipment to kind of better suit his new ideology. So I gave him the same Jedi robe that everybody else is wearing, but underneath that he is wearing the Long Johns. These are, I think, from a Fallout mod, actually. So they look like the Raider clothes that Fallout Raiders wear. So he's wearing these Long Johns as the base layer, and then he's wearing the Badlands armor over it. Now, I know those are Raider armors, but they look suitably Star Warsy, I guess. And because there's a lot of brown, it does look a little bit Jedi. So I thought all in all it worked out pretty well. And under the cloak, you can't really tell. And we're ditching the hood. We're going to let his hair flow for a bit, I think. Partly because his hair clips out from under the hood, and also just because I think it gives him a little bit more personality than if we just have his face kind of hidden under there the whole time. Right, so what else do we need to do? I would really like to put the limestone on pause. We need Aurelian stone to continue our progress on the temple, and actually that's been halted for a while now, so I really want to get that moving. So yeah, let's suspend that one here too, because it looks like that's all they've been cranking out. And granted, it was super helpful for the monument, but we also need other things built. How are we doing here? So hold on, let's get things rolling. I always tend to monologue over a pause game and then we don't get anywhere. So I added a meditation spot for Ryder. I should probably verify that he can actually use it. Artistic, which is the default. So I might need to play around with some stuff so that he can do proper meditation at the tree. We're at 12 animal grass, so 8 more, and we can assign a Psylink. I say assign because I'm actually going to choose. I may have a mod installed that lets me, but even if I forgot to do that, I will basically remove whichever random one we get, if we get a random one, and then I'll assign one that I think is suitable to the character. Now, I'm not just going to pick the best one. Okay, so we're slightly less negative there. I'm not just going to pick the best one. I'm going to pick side casts that are the most fitting for each character. So Basanas are going to be mostly in sort of the mind trick variety, right? Whether it's kind of like a stun or the one that makes people vomit. She's going to be having those sorts of side casts, versus Wade is not going to have anything like that. He'll probably have like stone skip or something like that, where he's moving rocks with the force to kind of change the landscape of the battle in his favor, that sort of stuff. And we'll kind of see what suits everybody as we go along, but I'm only going to pick things that I think sort of fit their archetype. Oh, one more thing. I cheated a little bit. I found that the altar that we were using, the Jedi shrine up here that was 3 wide, I didn't really like the way that it looked. Also, I realized that if I use the ritual spot in the middle, which is ultimately what I wanted to do, because I want stuff to happen in the middle of this area, not up against the wall. If I did that from the ritual spot, I actually would lose efficiency in the ritual. So I have to start things from the altar. Otherwise, I kind of take a penalty, or I lose a bonus. It might be a more accurate way to phrase that. Either way, we had to build it. So it made more sense to use one that I could put in the middle and not have it block everything. So we went down to the 1x1, which again, I had to use the dev tools to edit my ideology to make that happen. And then I just deleted the one up here and spawned in one here. So basically, we just swapped it. I didn't make them rebuild it because we had already built one and I deleted it. So I figured fair is fair. I hear we have some passersby. Where are they? Is it you guys? Nope. Those are just regular old, well, not regular deer. They're blue deer, but I'm not seeing them. Here they are. So we have a quest giver. Might be worth looking into. A lot of the quests we've been getting lately are not worth doing. Actually, a lot of assassination missions, which really doesn't suit us at all. Wade is meditating. I'll let him finish doing that, but we'll talk to Ratio Tile here and see what he has to offer us. And honestly, I'm kind of a little bit nervous that we haven't had a raid in a while. We are using... No, we're not using Randy Random. We're using a different storyteller that is supposed to give us fewer large events rather than many smaller ones, if that makes sense. Oh good, Ryder is finally queued up with the Force. So by nature of the way that mod works, I can't create pawns who are already adept in the Force. So he has 1 point. All I can do is make them Force sensitive, and then once they join us, they will eventually gain XP and start this. So what I've done for people like Taya, for example, who are hostile Force users, is I have a mod that lets AI use psycasts, and then I loaded her up on psycast abilities. We didn't really get to see her utilize them, but theoretically she should be able to. So Ryder has his first point, and I think I'm going to... Let's see. I'm going to give him some dark side abilities because he is a Sith, right? So even if he wasn't super happy about being involved in sort of the Sith, he would have learned some of those abilities. He would have had experience with the dark side. Now, how to what extent he's going to continue to use it is another question, but I feel like he should have those abilities. Something like Force Lightning, maybe even Force Choke, Force Rage potentially. I probably won't do Force Drain or Force Storm. Maybe these four. I won't do Force Storm though, because that's like the sort of ultimate ability. He was, again, a little, not a novice, he was a full-fledged Sith. But at the same time, he wasn't, you know, like a super advanced user. So let's see. I think we'll do... Let's do Force Choke. And I'm going to make a decision on whether or not he should get his lightsaber back probably in the next episode. So feel free to continue to weigh in on that. Hopefully I'll get to see your comments before I have to decide. But again, theoretically he should have spawned in with one, but because of how the reunion mod works, they don't always keep the equipment I give them. So apparently Wade and Erna are getting married. I know that they had become lovers, and I guess we did see them get a notification that a marriage was happening. And now that I have the spot down, I guess it is finally happening. I was really hoping that we would have Hale and Ojavi get married, because then I could move them into the same bed. And honestly, I'm a little bit confused on that one, because I looked at their ideologies, and theoretically there shouldn't be anything preventing them from being in the same bed. Or actually, you know what? I may have been looking at the wrong... I might have been looking at the Republic. So let's check out the Sith Empire. They might be like marriage only. Let's see. Physical love, spouse only, mild. So like theoretically I should be able to assign them to the same bed still, because it's not completely forbidden, it's just frowned upon, I guess. No, prohibition shared bed outside of marriage. Okay, so no, they do need to be married or converted. If they're Republic, then it won't matter, but until then they have to be married first, and it might be easier just to get them married first. Now for these two it won't matter, because Wade can never share a bed, and Erna is Republic, so she could have always shared a bed. They just never. Alright, they're celebrating the occasion. Right, Gil's her ex-lover. So, how happy is everybody? Does that offset all the tree killing we've been doing? Actually, yes, it probably will. Cool. That does help. And it looks like that Aurelian stone is finally getting made, so our walls are being filled in. Less concerned about this, more concerned about these, because the more bedrooms we finish, the more people I can move out of these like flop houses, which I really don't like doing, but obviously we were kind of in a pinch. Let's see. Do I have the materials to start throwing down more beds? I believe I do. So we can do 1, 2, 3, 4. And you know what? Now that those two have been released and everything, we can actually move Svetlana over here. So let's assign that to her. I'm going to get rid of this one entirely for now. And let's see. You're still attending your marriage ceremony? Okay, fair enough. I would like for somebody to... You're cutting stone blocks. That's important. Who can I ask to do this? Elijah. No. You're having a mental break. Oh, Javi. You're going to haul some potatoes. Well, it seems like everybody's busy. Oh, Hud's riding a donkey. That might be the person to ask. All right, Hud, if you'd be so kind, please take her to bed. This unowned one is going to get deconstructed, and then we're going to build a copy of this here. So that will give us 5 new beds. And once we get people moved out of here, I'll build some additional ones. We'll also want to furnish these a little bit better, but my main concern at the moment... Oh, God, that's not good. My main concern has been just to get these bedrooms built. So what just happened there? I see that our connection strength has really fallen off, but it's still high enough that... No, because we did lose the Dryad. Yeah, well, I think we lost it with both because Bassano was just out of commission for so long. Let's see. She's currently sleeping. And then, are we having a donkey try to escape? Did I miss something? Or, I don't know, because Theo looks to be riding that donkey. Well, she's the only one that can do that job. So, if we wake her up, she's consuming a meal. I guess go eat, but yeah, we need to focus on this. No, see, that one's only 5.9. This is 7.4, so I don't know why all the grass just disappeared. That's a little bit odd. Either way, though, we need to get her kind of back on that because... Oh, shoot. Does that need to be terraformed? Did I miss that spot? As you can see, I also laid out plans for our pathway out here on the other side. Not going to do it yet, though I didn't realize we had so much limestone, so I guess it potentially is worth doing. Let's get this corner filled in. And once that's done, then I'll ask them to do maybe a chunk of this here. Or actually, we can do a little bit of it. I'll allow that much. Hopefully these corners look good. I might have to move stuff around if they don't. But I just want to have a softer transition than just this hard 90-degree angle. So I'm hoping this is enough to kind of round it out. I may need to stretch it further this way, just to kind of smooth it into this longer path, but we'll see. Ooh, inspired creativity. Next item, art, or furniture he creates will be 2 quality levels higher than it would otherwise be. Or potentially a legendary item. But what do I need him to make? First of all, let's look at his skills again. So, HUD, you aren't really one for crafting. So, it's not worth asking him to, like, make a piece of clothing or something. But maybe a legendary piece of art. So, what could we make? I don't think I have ivory. Do I? Doesn't look like it. We can get jade. Oops. Jade is right here if we want to make something out of jade. That might be worth doing. Like a jade urn. The Rancor skull thing would be awesome, but we unfortunately can't do that. And I don't know if these benefit. So like the perfect... Well, that's the Sith one. We don't want to do that anyways. But if we made like the Jedi one, I don't think they get a rating. Yeah, it's not like legendary or masterwork or whatever. Oh, no, it does. It does. It's just hidden. So maybe it's worth doing the Republic one then, which is the... Not the Republic altar. Is it the Just Shape? Yeah, it's the Just Shape. So, you know what? Let's ask him to do that. So we'll make the Just Shape, and we'll do 1 time. We're going to ask very specifically that HUD do it. And let's make this out of... limestone, since we have quite a bit of it. Now, I should probably make sure that he does that sooner rather than later, because I don't want them to use up all the limestone that he needs on that floor. This is a higher priority. So I'm going to ask him to do it now so that he starts the project and gathers all the materials. I don't need him to necessarily finish it in this run. I just need him to get everything going. Okay. So that's good enough. You can go about your business now, but all the materials have at least been reserved. And I'll probably end up putting that on the opposite end of this courtyard. Even though, again, this is a Republic item, not a Jedi one. I think it balances things out nicely. Wade, when can you convert again? Not for a while. Okay. Well, I want to get Fender converted still. I had to kind of pause on him because I wanted to make sure we didn't have 3 Sith in our colony. Otherwise, you know, they want a leader and all that junk. But now that that's been dealt with, I think it's time to go after Fender again, and then eventually these two as well. But obviously they're a little bit more entrenched in their current ideologies. That does remind me, though, I think we have a conversion ritual coming up. Well, we can't do it here. On cooldown, available in 1.3 days. How about over here? This conversion ritual can go now. So we should probably do that. So it would be HUD, or maybe, let's see. You guys can join in. So who should be the one doing the converting? HUD social impact. Can we use, like, does Kessel have a better impact? Oh, it has to be a counselor. Okay, well then there's no reason to play around with it. Performed recently, whatever. And we're trying to convert Fender. Expectations are high. Well, that's not a great quality, but I don't know that there's a lot else I can do. The Republic doesn't have their own ritual room yet, so we've just been holding it in here. Granted, shoot. I don't know if it's worth, like, hitting him with Wade's ability one more time first. Just because, like, what are you currently at? 36. I do worry about that converting him over to the Jedi, but that might still be better than having him as the Twi'lek tribalism, because at least now he's something that's, you know, we actually want to have in our colony. And it honestly wouldn't set us back that far because he's at 36 now, so worst case, if he does get converted, it resets to 50. That's not that far off. But if it doesn't do all 36, it might get him down to like 10% or less, which potentially would leave him in position to be recruited by the main ritual, or so I hope. So I think that's going to be my strategy. Wade's conversion recovers really, really quickly. So yeah, it looks like 1.2 days. So we don't have to wait that long. Oh, and he just leveled up in the Force. Cool. Well then, I think I would like to give you maybe some lightsaber accuracy. That's basically just going to make sure he lands more hits. Let's do that. I am going to put a lot of priority on his defense, though, as well, because I want him to basically be like a walking shield, so he can just deflect everything fired his way. Oh, Wade had a creativity, too. But he's a crafter. Right? Yeah, so it would make more sense for him to make like a legendary armor or weapon. The issue is I don't have the ability to make anything high tier yet. I would love for him to make or use this inspiration on a lightsaber, especially one for Jaina, because we've been holding on to this crystal for her, this Ultima Pearl. I just need a lightsaber to slot it into. But we don't have the ability to do that yet. So I I don't know what bench it's in, but I've assumed that it's in the component bench. That's what it used to be. It's not in the advanced fabrication bench. As far as I'm aware, that just makes some of the Star Wars armors. I believe we checked already, but you know what? If we're interested, we can actually cheat and find out. So just really quick to make sure I know what's craftable here. Whoop, my bad. We want to be in God mode. Where'd it go? Great. I lost it. Advanced fabrication bench. Bingo. Okay. What can we make? Yeah, just rebel helmets, it looks like. That seems a bit weird. I wonder if it's our research that's limiting some of the stuff that's showing up here. But, yeah. And then we'll just destroy it so that we don't get resources back. I'm curious, though. So, the forge fabrication bench, is that something else? What does this make? Nothing that we have the ability to craft yet. Well, that's difficult because then I don't actually know what's going to come from there. The assembly bench. Where's the component assembly bench? The problem with all these mods is some things sound very similar to others. Let's see, Blast Tech Workbench. Well, that's pretty self-explanatory. That's going to let us make blasters. Electro Staff, Vibro Sword. So we should definitely try to get one of these. That'll be super critical for our weapon development. But I still don't know what's going to let us make lightsabers. It could be that one as well. But I believe that's from a different mod. So I don't know. Here we go. Let's try this one. Where can I put this down? Okay. Components, lightsaber internals, lightsaber casing. Perfect. That's exactly what we need. And then we can also make the lightsaber itself there. Because we'll need this plus silver. Yeah. Okay, so that's good to know. We're actively working on that right now. In fact, that should be part of this fabrication research. So maybe, just maybe, he'll hold on to that inspiration long enough for us to do this. We should definitely make sure that somebody else is the one producing those components, though. Because if he is the one making those, it might get wasted. So yeah, we don't want that. That does remind me though. So if we look at your gear, does your lightsaber have a quality? I don't know that it does. So I don't know if we would necessarily benefit from that, but I still think it would be a cool thing to do. Ooh, that's another thing. I'd like to make it out of plasteel to get the best stats for it. But we'll see if we have enough. Anyway, that's what we'll work toward. If you guys have any other ideas, feel free to let me know. It's going to be a long time before we can make armor, though. Or at least the armor that we're aiming for. So it's probably not worth holding out for that. Oh, well, okay. That's a moot point. Oh, he just made something legendary. Oh, okay, legendary steel ergonomic double bed. Great. Oh, god damn it. Red poker. This furniture bears a depiction of an abstracted rendering of difficulty. The scene takes place on the outskirts of a settlement. Almost every shape in the image seems to be vertical. I feel like this one is just normal quality. Let's reinstall this one over here. And we'll give Jaina the fancy one. Nothing against whoever gets this room, of course, but I feel like Wade would want his daughter to have the best stuff, right? So I'm actually going to ask him to do that first. And I shouldn't have bothered queuing that up because I'm going to re-queue it to the right spot. So I want it here. And actually, Wade, I'm going to draft you real quick. Give me that bed. We'll install that. I can't do it until that one's been moved. So, right. If I could get you, maybe work on this. Well, sweet. So that's 3 bedrooms finished. Well, the rooms finished, right? Not the furnishing. But you get the idea. Okay, so let's grab this bed. We'll install it here. Wade, I'm going to ask you to do that. And the moment he puts it down, I'll reassign it to Jaina. Okay. So that's Jaina's. Now let's see who else needs a bed. I'm assuming there's quite a few people. Yeah, we can put Ryder here. Hale, I'm just waiting for her wedding because then we can put her in bed with her husband, Ohavi. But I guess for the time being, he's here. I think he should be a gentleman and let her sleep in the bed. And we'll build a sleeping spot in the room. Sleeping spot in the room for him. Okay. So just to be certain, that's everybody assigned to some place to sleep. Now, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 new beds. We have 5 people here. So I think that will be enough to get everybody in their own bedroom, which is a huge, huge upgrade. We got to be careful, though. These beds do use components, and we're going to be burning through them pretty quickly if we continue with this. But I think we'll be all right. I just realized Fender's working on this one. You know what? It should be all right. I don't think this one has different versions. I'm just worried because he's still tribal background. It might come out as like a tribal thing. So I'm going to actually ask him not to. I don't think it's really a concern, but we'll have Wade finish it just to be safe. And Fender can help out with the... Yeah, or he can go bathe. But he can help out with the flooring that we're working on. So, Basna, what the hell have you been doing? Because I don't think I've seen you work on these. And I kind of need you to work on these. So, the problem is she's also the main doctor, and I really can't afford to have her not be doing that. You know what? I'm going to leave it at 4, actually. And plant cutting and growing is going to be her top priority. Actually, we're going to say growing. I honestly don't know what work type this is. It's obviously some sort of plant thing, but I don't know which one of these it takes from. And then instead, I'm going to ask that Kay and Hale do most of the doctoring, because we need to get their skills leveled up. Does it say? Let's see. Not really. What if we go here? I don't think so. Yeah, that's tough. I don't know. So I'm going to put Kylan in this corner. There you go. And that's going to free up some space here. So let's build a copy there. I'm going to move Inara to that corner just for temporary purposes. We'll get rid of her original bed or her sleeping spot, and then we'll build a copy of the ergonomic bed there. And then once these finish, I can move Oyster, Hud, and Hadar out of there and into here. But obviously one of them can stay in here, but I think we'll have 1 extra bedroom, which is great because I'm sure some of these guys are going to be joining us soon, potentially. Like, Doc, what's your prisoner state looking like? So resistance is 16. Oh, we've been mostly focused on conversion, though, haven't we? And actually, it's progressing relatively well. I don't remember what he started at, but that's obviously a lot lower than these two. Taya, it's kind of going. Black is not really being converted very effectively, but oh, we've just been working on his resistance. Huh, so we could recruit him at any time. And that might honestly be worth it because he is quite the fighter. So, be one more gun to put to use whenever we do get raided. And obviously, you know, it's going to be a while before he gets converted, whether he gets recruited or not. Either way, it's going to take a while. So, yeah, it might be worth just recruiting then. How about Elvira? So she's like a grower, dog person, academician, too smart. We wanted to maybe make her into a doctor, if I remember right. So she is currently convert then recruit, and that's pretty slow going, it looks like. Oh, and what about Svetlana? Where'd she end up? Oh, there she is. Not even a little bit. Working on reducing her resistance. Let's work on converting first. And she can help with not a lot, honestly, just fighting. So in that case, just convert. Oh, I forgot about Amy too. Whoops. She's being converted. It's going okay. And she can't really help from where she currently is, but once we get her recruited, she'll be pretty useful. So Wade's still not ready to convert Fender yet, but there is a couple other rituals I'd like to have. Both are going to be role changes, so the person I want changing roles is going to be first Erina. We're going to make her the Commerce Secretary because we need to fill that role. Or do we want to make Kessel the Commerce Secretary? He is more of a talker. Erina is more of a doer, so maybe he should be in charge of that. Of course, she'll be pissed, but he might be a little bit better suited, and honestly, it'd be kind of a waste to put her there because I think she's going to be more useful elsewhere. So we'll try it like this, but I might regret making him the one. Anyways, that works for me. Let's make that happen. Leader speech, work drive, combat command, and trial. Again, he has a really, really high social skill. It's like 16. So I think he'll get better effect out of these abilities. Erina does have a decent social skill, but she's also a good crafter and has like other utilities. So I do think he's slightly better suited. And then the other one we'll do whenever this one finishes is we're going to put, I think, Hadar as our defense secretary. And eventually we're going to phase Theo out of a leadership role. Because I want to basically make him the captain that we put all of our soldiers under when we send them out on missions or whatever. So he's not going to have like a direct leadership role over the colony, but he'll be the commander of our force. Get out of here. Okay. So again, while everybody's here, let's do one more role change, and that's going to be Hadar becoming defense secretary. And Doc and Taya are getting married? Interesting. Well, that's going to be a little bit problematic down the line because Taya, if she joins us, will be a Jedi. And so she's not going to be able to have that relationship. Okay, cool. So all of the roles are filled except for the moralist from the Sith, which we're not going to fill. Obviously, we're trying to get rid of that ideology entirely. But like, for example, how much of a penalty are you getting from not being able to share a bed with, what's her face, Erina? Drowsy, elite expectations. Why? Why would you have elite expectations? You guys have been you're still sleeping on the floor. Want Anima Nexus connection. So he wants his own? Interesting. Caused by belief in the Jedi Order. See, something is like broken fundamentally because I had to play around with his traits forever and remove a few mods to make sure that he could even meditate at an anima tree. But now he wants an anima nexus connection. So that's a -4. Stuck indoors. Got married. I don't see anything that says like want to sleep with Erina. Maybe it's because of his ideology. Does she have something? Dirty hospital, missing just shape. Stuck indoors. No, it doesn't seem like she minds or they mind. Weird. So Bastin has just leveled up. Let's see what that's looking like. Maybe. So what happens when we advance Mind Trick? Use the force to influence the weak-minded, causing them to wander aimlessly. Cooldown is 70 seconds. Mental state chance, confused wandering 70%. It goes to cooldown 50 seconds, confused wandering 85%, so it's more likely to succeed, and we can use it more frequently. And then finally, it goes to 30 seconds with a 95% chance to succeed, so basically almost guaranteed. Huh. I mean, that's a pretty big jump from 70 to 85. A pull might also be interesting, so... But I don't want her to necessarily be pulling people into combat with her. I want her out of melee combat and kind of hanging back, throwing heal buffs and things of that nature. Speaking of which, if we go up here, it cuts the original cooldown in half if we get to the third point. But you know what? She does run out of force pool pretty quickly, so let's put a point into that before we worry about how quickly we can cast stuff. I might also look at the dark side ability Berserk on her as well. Because, again, she is a gray Jedi, so it's possible for her to kind of dip into the dark side a little bit. But mostly she's a gray Jedi because she's not 100% in line with the Jedi teachings, not necessarily because she's a dark side user, so I don't want to go too far into that. But at the same time, currently there is no balance. She's all light side because all she ever does is throw heals and mind tricks. So if we do like Berserk, at least she'll have, or sorry, Force Rage. At least she'll have another option that kind of evens things out a little bit more. Okay, so we just recruited Black. So he's gonna go practice martial arts. I actually would like to get a gun in your hands, like immediately. Just in case we get raided, I want you to have a weapon. Doctoring is going to be a 4. That should be a 2. That should be a 1. Wardening, not really your concern. Hunting, we can leave it a 4. Oh, he doesn't like doing it. Okay, never mind. Training is fine at 3. So I guess since you're primarily a combatant, it might be worth having you prioritize hauling and cleaning. We'll finally have somebody to help with that. And eventually he can do some guard duty, but right now, hauling and cleaning is actually a pretty critical role for us. Oh, but I did want to get him a weapon. So you're over here. Yeah, if you could, maybe go grab a... I don't have anything that looks like super good. I like the E11, but at the same time that one is pretty poor quality. Kay, I think you have an E11, right? What quality is yours? Normal. So where are you? You're in the freezer. Okay, well in that case, you know, offload stuff or sort it, whatever the hell you're doing. And then do me a favor and drop this. Since your shooting is pretty abysmal, I'm going to give you... You know what? Take one of these carbines, I guess. And then black, you take the E11, the good one. Also, you are human, right? Yeah, let's get rid of that. I think that's a hairstyle. Okay, that's a little better for the time being, but I might change up his look more when I'm playing off camera or something. Right, so with the beds, I moved Theo out of this corner and down here. Erina got bumped from Wade's room to her own room, and then Wade finally got a bed in his own bedroom. And it looks like he's now capable of casting that convert. So Fender, where are you? You're on your way to building some brick walls. Okay. Wade, I need you to pause what you're doing and throw that convert on him. And I really hope it doesn't succeed fully. Oh, you're over here. Okay. Down to 24. Well, it's closer. Donkey 3 is leaving. Which one's Donkey 3? 1 and 2. How about no? wait. Okay, never mind. For some reason I thought they were over here. Who's having issues? Black? Why is Black having issues? Wait, that's Basina. No, it says Black is having extreme break wrist. Just because he doesn't have a whole lot of positives, I guess, because there's a lot of little negative things, but nothing huge. Obviously, this would help if he didn't have a tribal ideology, but that will take some time to resolve. So, right, what was I doing? Oh, the ritual. So we can do the conversion ritual now. HUD would be the speaker. Fender would be the convertee. And his expectations are unfortunately really hampering this thing. I don't know that we can do it from here because it's the Republic one. Role change, conversion ritual. Yeah, I can't do it. What if we moved it to here? Let's see. Build a copy. I don't know that the weapons matter, so we can try this. Conversion ritual. It's definitely better. Hmm. 52% effective. Okay. Is there anything we could put in there that would kind of push it over? I imagine if we did the... Let's go to miscellaneous. If we did the small Republic altar in here, that might be enough to get it done. Wade, what are you doing? You're sleeping. Who could do it quickly? Theo, you have a lot of construction skill, right? You're building a bed. This is a little bit higher priority. Alright, so this space is now indoors. Or, sorry, it will be if we can close it off. So I'm going to use cloth to just build some of these tribal curtains. And we should also make sure that there's a roof on it, which it looks like for the most part there is. Let's fill in the rest of this, though. Shoot, Black doesn't have a sleeping spot. Elijah, you're going to share. So I think our next priority is going to be building this wall. Let's see if I can do this. I have to get that off my screen, otherwise it'll get counted. I don't know if it's going to work. Let's see if I can get it with selection box. Probably not. Maybe. Cool, so we'll allow those. And actually, we're not going to do this whole section anyways. It'll probably just be these three and these three. These three in the center are actually going to be a door. So I'm going to remove those. And in its place, what we can do is... Where's my floors? There we are. I feel like that moved, but maybe not. We're going to put that steel grating down. And in fact, we can do it here too. 1, 2, 3. So all the doors will be 3. That's perfect. We can use the same door for all of them, presumably. Or ideally. So structures. Did something move? Or maybe I'm thinking of the 40k playthrough, but I don't know. I feel like things are jumping around on me. What door would we even use? That's kind of the issue I've been having. So this is going to stick out funny because the doors aren't double thick. But it could still be fine. I would have liked to use something more like this, but it's only 2 wide. I'll have to think about it. I don't want to use vanilla doors. They're just kind of plain looking. They're fine in areas where I intend to hold them open permanently, but this is not one of those instances. So I would really like something a little bit more visually appealing, I think. Alright, now that it's morning and everybody's waking up, let's try this again. So we have the altar here. If we do a conversion ritual, it's actually going to be worse. Interesting. Okay. It was Fender, right? So 51%. Why did it go down? The ritual spot was higher. Well, it's 51 now too. I guess the impressiveness of the room went down because of this. I guess let's just do it. So HUD and Fender. Sure. So everybody's going to migrate on over there. And we're going to lay Fender on the altar and say some magic words, and hopefully he'll be a citizen of the Republic. This is the citizenship test. Bingo. Conversion complete. Masterful conversion ritual. Everyone gained +6. Okay. Our true knowledge was accepted. So... did that actually convert him, though? It did. Fantastic. Okay. That's the first time that's actually worked as intended. And it was actually quite successful. He's at 95%. So, I believe, other than black now, Twilight Tribalism is on the out. So, we'll need to get him converted over. Obviously, Hale and Ohavi are both still Sith ideology, and we'll need to deal with that too. But at least that's one down, right? We just need to keep chipping away. In terms of beds, things are looking pretty good. So we obviously moved Black into Elijah's room so they could share. Anara's bed is effectively done. Somebody just needs to put the finishing touches on it. Cool. So there she goes. And we'll remove this. HUD's bed is being built now that we have Hadar moved in here and Oyster moved in here. And let's see. I believe that's everybody basically taken care of. You know what? I should build one more of these. Because we're going to get Basna out of this ancient bed. And it actually, occurs to me that Fender has been sleeping over here in this sleeping spot. So we're going to need to get him somewhere as well. We don't want to keep him on the floor. Even if we just have to move the ancient bed over here so he can sleep in here, that's better than nothing, I guess. Okay, good news, guys. It looks like the muscle parasites have taken care of themselves. So I'm honestly glad I didn't burn the Glitter World medicine, because Basnas are gone. And I guess I should have assumed when Kay was up and about that hers were no longer an issue either. So that's great, actually. I don't remember if, like... oh, I should fix that. If Black had muscle parasites. I know some of the prisoners did. Man, you have a lot of... we're going to need to burn a lot of medicine curing these as well. Honestly, I think it requires plasteel too, so we'll need to be careful. But some of these can be cured or removed. What else do we need to do? We're going to continue wrapping this floor around, but that's low priority. Right now I'm more concerned with getting this wall built and then the outer one. And it'll be a very, very happy day when we can basically enclose this space and we'll finally have the temple as an interior and not just this kind of weird in progress structure. Once we do that, there's all sorts of opportunities or possibilities open to us. I think we'll start by building some sort of republic, like a government building, I guess, somewhere for the rituals to be held, and it can be sort of like an office for our leaders. Additionally, it would be a good idea to build a spaceport so that we can get some trade in and out more easily than with people having to physically walk to our settlement. The only issue with that, and the reason why I don't necessarily think it's the top priority, is because we're still undergoing the Kessler syndrome. It's been 31 days since it started, but this is actually from the spaceport mod, and so all shuttle travel is rendered impossible, meaning even if we build the spaceport, nobody's coming, at least until this is over. I believe that's also why, even though I put in a comms console, we haven't really gotten any notifications, and I kind of expected that, but I went ahead and built one anyways just to be sure. But that will also help with trade, obviously. So I'm trying to figure out where I want to build these things. The Jedi Temple is going to be, I was going to say the centerpiece of the settlement, but it's not actually going to be in the center. So it'll be kind of the jewel of the settlement, but it's not going to be what we build around. We're going to build out this way, probably as far as these are to the east. And we may go down as far as like here. And ideally, I'd have some sort of fortification on the outside. Things are eventually going to start escalating with our raids. They've been relatively small so far, and even when they're not, there's enough kind of terrain to work with out here, but that's not always going to be the case, so we'll want to enclose our settlement to some degree, especially if we have sappers that want to come bust through our temple walls. But I'm thinking the government building could be maybe here. I think I want the spaceport in the back. I don't know. I'm thinking spaceport, government building. I want things to be a little bit staggered and irregular looking, like a proper settlement. I don't want things to look super organized and uniform, because that doesn't look very organic or real. Anyways, feel free to think on that along with me, and if you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them. In the meantime, we're going to keep plugging away at this construction project. I think I do like how this rounded out. I might make it come a little bit more here, but I don't hate how it looks now, so worst case we just leave it. But yeah, anyways, feel free to throw me some suggestions regarding where to go next with this colony, and where physically whatever we build next should be. But anyways, with that, thank you so much for watching. I had a great time playing some RimWorld with you, and I look forward to seeing you guys back here for the next episode.